On my podcast, I get to chat with so many amazing CMOs who have all taken different journeys. And there's a few tips that I've taken away. One, without a doubt, is that there's not a single path to being a CMO. I have chatted with people who have come from a data science background, a demand background, a content background. There's not one way to do it. Everyone's path is a little bit unique. The second takeaway that I've got from everyone that I've chatted with is they've jumped at opportunities when they're presented to them. Or in some cases, they've created opportunities that have allowed them to climb. Not every marketer gets to be the CMO, but I think every marketer has the opportunity to be the CMO if they create them. Now, the last of my 3 tips would probably be just a trend that I'm seeing everyone I speak to. They're all talking about either one of the 2 areas of marketing that they need to have experience or surround themselves in are either product or content. And those 2 really work so closely together. There's a huge increase in hearing people talk about product-led growth. That's similar to the importance of content bringing people in. In fact, recently I chatted with Joe Chernov and he talked about how he's realized that it's not just content, it's content and product and the ability to combine the 2. So those are my 3 tips for you. So yeah, I was pretty intensive with my words in Fuck Content Marketing. And to be clear, it's not that content is not important. It's not that content marketers aren't great. It's what's the point of creating content if we don't leverage it? Now, what's really evolved, I think, is not just the importance of leveraging it, but our buyers now expect relevance more than ever. In fact, we did a survey with Forrester this past year, and they said that 63% of our buyers will simply turn away and ignore you if they feel the content is not relevant to you. Essentially, they're saying they're not going to go search for what you have. So it's one thing for us to create content. It's another thing for us to package it and create an experience that gets people to lean in. We all know this in our day-to-day lives. We turn on Netflix, that next show is ready for us as soon as we're done binging the current season. We open our Spotify app, it's the same type of experience. It feels like those playlists have been made for us. That's the experience that I feel like we have to learn to emulate. And it's not just on your content team. This is on your demand team. This is on the ABM team that's going out. This is on your salespeople who are engaging with people on a day-to-day basis. We all have to start to put a focus on content experience. In the next number of years, I think a word we'll hear more and more is experience. Now, you've heard me talk all the time about content experience, but the term that I'm going to refer to is customer experience. And I think that's because we are now responsible as marketers, not just for the top of the funnel, not the bottom, not the middle. We're responsible for that end-to-end buyer journey. And at every single stage, we have to be thinking about how the customer is experiencing with our brand, with our content, with our product. Even once they become a customer, we are now responsible as marketers. So I think we're going to see this evolution. And I believe that the key to a great experience is ultimately relevance. More and more, we expect relevance in everything we do. From the content we watch online, to the things that are shipped to our house, to what we open up and shop with Amazon. This same holds true in terms of the experience that people are going to expect from you and your brand at every stage. If you don't have a CXO, a customer experience officer, which you might even say, what do we need that for? You may realize that your role as marketing will become to look at the experience as a whole. Jay Baer said to me just a few weeks back that he believes the term marketing may disappear and experience or customer experience may prevail as the way we think about our roles. I think my big advice to anyone is make sure you have passion. Marketing is all about getting your audience to believe in what you're selling. And it's so much easier for us to do that when we have a passion for what we believe in. Doesn't mean your entire journey is going to be something that you were dreaming about as a child. I actually believe that intrigue can lead to passion. So at the very least, make sure that whatever you're going to market, whatever you're going to help sell, is all about something that you can relate to, and in turn, you can create that desire from your audience. Let's be honest, this pandemic has been tough. It's been tough personally, it's been tough professionally, it's been tough for our teams. But I think the one thing that we have to look at is, what are we really trying to do in marketing? And I think of it very simply. We need to identify the right buyers. we need to attract them, and then we need to engage them. Now, the first two elements there of identify and attract, those haven't changed that much. A lot of the ways that we find the right buyers and the channels that we use that are heavily digital have not changed. The reality is we can't pull them together the way we used to. We can't pull them to an event or a field marketing event or a dinner. So we have to do this all online. And that's put a lot of emphasis on the way we engage people through digital. Now, that's where we talk about content experience day to day here at Uberflip and with a lot of our customers. I think we've all been struggling to figure out, how do we keep someone engaged and how do we move them from one asset to the next? The reality is, when we don't put that extra emphasis on engagement, then we have to continually go back and use more and more channels. That drives up our customer acquisition cost, our CAC, significantly. It makes it really hard to be efficient, to have a sales cycle that moves at a good pace. So the area that we've been really trying to think about is, once we've got someone's attention, how do we keep it? How do we ensure that that next piece of content is just as relevant as the CTA they click to take them to that first one? That mindset of focusing on content experience, I think, will really adapt the way we act as marketers. That should never change, with or without a pandemic. Once we learn how to do this, once we get strong at this skill, it can really help decrease the time it takes to pull a customer over. And as we said, reduce that CAC in the long run.